So my name is JaQuacy Mentor. I'm the Director of Student Development here at Northeast Texas Community College, and I joined the NTCC family in August of 2023.
My name is Zachariah Branham, and I am the Care Center Coordinator and Community Outreach Engagement Coordinator, and I joined NTCC in October 2024.
TC.
Well, it was close to home, and when I interviewed, I said I wanted to watch my nieces grow up and all that stuff. They were getting older, and so it was the only college in Mount Pleasant, of course, and I didn't want to work at Pilgrims or McDonald's, even though I respect those workers. So I decided to come here, and I do not regret it. It wasn't my first choice, but it was the best choice I've ever made. Yeah.
I came to NTCC. Originally, I started out here as a student and really enjoyed the atmosphere of the college. I went on to get my bachelor's in social work and ended up interning here at NTCC, and just really liked the work culture, the hours, and just thought this was a great place to kind of give back to the students. So I decided that this place would be the place for me to work.
So what inspired us to lead SGA into a better future? Well, at first, I've always had the idea of some type of mentorship program ever since I started as an advisor when I first got here. And so doing something like that, advising, mentoring, things of that nature, that's always been a goal of mine. And so it was always like that. But it wasn't until December 1st, 2024, when the Student Development Office actually fell into my lap. And with that came SGA. And so at first I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? How am I going to build something that's been dead for 40 years? You know, like what if kids don't join? Like all those things that you have a fear of as you're an upcoming club advisor. But then, you know, I got the pizza for the interest meeting, and I met on both Cam and his friends, and it just slowly and surely started to fall together. Not fall apart. I hope it doesn't fall apart. But everything started to kind of fall into place. And so then one day, I just kind of woke up and realized that I was already leading it to a brighter future. And so that was when I decided to make the choice to continue to do so. So at first it was accidental. At first it was all trial and error. And then as you sit and listen to your kiddos laughing and like hanging out and all that stuff, you realize that you've created a safe space and a family for folks that don't have one. And so that by that point, you either decide keep going or give it all you got and try to shoot for the best. That's what I did. What about you?
I don't. Okay, so I first got into SGA. Actually, JaQuacy Mentor had asked me to come over and maybe be a co-advisor. So I wanted to check it out, see what it was going to be about. I actually got to go to their first meeting, which I helped kind of put together. And we it's funny because we actually got pizza for the kiddos. That's how we got our base foundation of students in. And then, I don't know, I just kind of saw it just starting to grow under his leadership. And from there, we kind of just took off.
And what Zach really adds to SGA and how we make it this strong beast is that Zach actually created his own business in town. And so I run SGA like a business. You know, a lot of people ask me, how do you take something that started out with 2 students and get it to function with 30 and 2 advisors? And I can't just do that, like, with hopes, dreams, pixie dust, and all that trusting stuff. Like, it takes that business mindset. You know, Zach, he has that business background. And so I strategically chose him to be my co-advisor because I knew what it took to actually run a beast like that, and he does that well. So he actually mentors me and trains me in the process as we come together to help lead to a brighter future. And I just honestly couldn't have done it without him. So, yeah. It takes a team to get that done, and we
Absolutely.
do it. It takes a team to make a team.
That's right.
That's why we do what we do. Oh my gosh, what changes? Ooh. Definitely, at least for me, the presentation has it's jumped. You know, I think in the past we always had student activities, but the presentation wasn't always there. We would have a pizza party, but no tablecloths. You know, we would have something like a silent disco, but no marketing. And so once I've taken into office in the student development or whatever, I've learned how to take presentation and take our activities to the next level through presentation. So if we're gonna have a bingo night, we're gonna make sure everything's decorated, the bingo things, the boards match, we have a good working bingo set, we have tablecloths. You know, we try to be extra with our presentation when it comes to activities here at NTCC. And so I can definitely tell the stage presence and the presentation has jumped tremendously. I mean, even Scare Fair this year, like everyone was decorated, we had a nice turnout. Like it wasn't just, oh, let's put a couple tables out and give out free candy. Like we actually put our minds together to create something as influential and impactful as Scare Fair 2025. And we just couldn't have done that without presentation. And I think Zach would also maybe second that, even with him taking over the Care Center, like tell us a little bit more about how the presentation of the Care Center has gone now that you've been there.
Well, the presentation of the Care Center has been absolutely instrumental in success here. We were seeing probably close to 10 students a week here in the Care Center, which now we're seeing 40 to 50. And just to piggyback off of that student engagement as well, because of that presentation level has actually been bumped up to the next level, and the student engagement level itself has been bumped up to that level.
I think in the past, I mean, Care Center is just a prime example. It felt almost not as warm and cozy and comforting, you know. And so now that Zach has taken over, like, you know, we have the green wall up for discretion. We're actually decorating for the holidays and things of that nature. And it's become more than just a food pantry, but instead a place of comfort. And I think we can owe that to Zach Branham. So, yeah.
Thank you. So it was actually as a student versus as a staff member. And it was the first time I was coming back to college, and I had gotten into a class with Jackie Johnston, and I had just a hard time with the class. She told me to come into class in person. We'll do it together. We'll see how much, you know, how we can get through it. And so I did. I ended up getting an A in the class. It boosted my confidence to continue on through college. So that's probably my biggest takeaway from NTCC, one that I can really remember.
I think for me, it was when I was a navigator, and I had a student call me because he didn't have a dad, and I'll never forget, bless his heart, he called because he had COVID for the first time, and he didn't know what to do. He was like, I don't know, like what suits to get and all that stuff. And I will never forget sitting at my desk at the end of the day, hearing Juan Carlos call me to be like, JaQuacy, I'm sick, what do I do? And I'm like, okay, well, you gotta do this, you gotta get you some chicken noodle soup, you gotta do that, you gotta do that. And it's like those little bitty things where your students blend the boundaries, you know, between that like advisor-student relationship, where you almost become like that mom figure for them. That's really kind of what like gets me going and gets me out of bed every day. And so honestly, it's the simple things that are my personal stories, like your kiddo saying, hey, I'm sick, what soup do I get? And so yeah, I think that one was mine. I don't really have many as a student. I was a student here for just a little bit. So yeah. Okay, how has NTCC shaped me? I think before I got hired here, I was pretty cold, but I know so many people find that hard to believe when you see me, because I'm always so lovey and warm and bubbly. But full transparency, I was pretty cold when I interviewed here. You know, I was working a job I didn't want to do. I had just finished my bachelor's degree at a pretty hard university, and so I mean, I just didn't have that warm, bubbly spirit anymore that a lot of you guys know and love today. And so I think being here and working here for almost 3 years now kind of restored that. You know, I told my kiddos literally at our awards assembly this past Thursday night, you know, they're the fire that gets me out of bed every morning, and I'm in that. You know, like working here has reshaped my whole ability to feel warm and comforting and loving, and to like re-figure out who I want to be as a person. It's helped me with my queerness, it's helped me with my blackness, it's helped me with just anything and everything about the real world, and it's shown me how to love people from different walks of life and different backgrounds and political beliefs and so forth. And so I feel like NTCC, although it's only been in my life for just about 3 years, has shaped the entire trajectory of my life moving forward. You know, a lot of my critical relationships are here. The first time I ever felt like a parent was here. And so it'll definitely be a really special place. And a tough, hard leave for me when it is time for me to go. But it's definitely shaped me into the young person I'm supposed to be. So, yeah, wouldn't have been able to do that without this community. So yeah.
Yeah, I think NTCC's community actually plays a large role in how it has shaped me as well. It's just the kindness, caring, compassionate, and it, you know, it really adds up and really shows you that they do care. So when you're in that work environment, you know, we all have to be here. We all have to pull our weight, and I mean, NTCC employees, they do that. So for us, for me, that's helped shape me into a better worker. So.
Happy 40th anniversary, NTCC.